Howard about it. His win at DePaul, February 16th, Georgetown put up 86 points, and he said, listen, that's unrealistic for us. That's where DePaul likes to function, but we have to make this a low-scoring ball game. They got the work cut out for them.
And the two teams have combined for 2 of 15 shooting.
Make a difference in this game. Heidemann with the shoulder fake. They'll miss on the pop.
You know, Georgetown really gets up for a game like this when they're playing against a team who a lot of people say has the most talent in the conference. They really want to show off what they can do.
High degree of difficulty for the redshirt freshman who has 4.
Heidemann knew exactly where to splice the defense with that pass, and Van Clunen was able to get a layup.
Breaks the drought of almost 3 minutes without scoring for Marquette. Burton one-handed. Belk baseline, yes. 6th. And before we come back to play, an administrative item, that was actually Alizé Blockton's 4th personal foul. It was initially given to King, but then changed just moments ago. So that's a problem for Marquette. Belk with a nice fake and takes it back up.
So in points allowed per game at 59.9.
Well, they've had to be tight on defense. They just don't score a lot, so defense has kind of been their thing. With the players on this team, they were really pulling for him to get the head coaching job.
He took over for Natasha Adair, a nice inside.
The offense moving.
4th-year point guard for the Hoyas. 2nd in the conference, 6th in the nation. An assist-to-turnover ratio at 3.3. How about Yazmine Belk getting out?
Xavier team very talented on the perimeter, a lot of guards who can come in and shoot, but then they've got those 2 strong post players inside.
And Georgetown with the post players as well, and Yazmine Belk, who plays very good defense, along with Cynthia Petke.
Yeah, they have a similar lineup. If you look at these 2 teams, 3 guards, and they're...
Georgetown with a 17-point lead. Benson wants the screen. Pretty move by Deanna White. Boy, that's a great feed as well.
Well,
off of a back screen. A nice, easy look, and that's what I saw them do in practice yesterday. A ton of screens and movement. Let's see if they can get that going consistently here.
Reigning Big East Player of the Week, Cynthia Petke, led all scorers in that first half with 11 points, along with 7 rebounds. And
Oh.
be a force there, but Georgetown can't stand around and watch Petke. I have a sense DePaul is going to really pressure her and try to crowd her, but everyone's got to keep moving off of her action.
And a block from Belk. Good around for Petke. Remember, she had 12 points and 14 rebounds the last time these two teams met. She's got 13 here today. Jaycott with Belk.
Program, and these players, they do a lot together as a group. They take advantage of being in Washington, D.C. They go to a lot of the monuments and the museums. They take pictures. They talk about some of the special things that they see that have to do with history and our country. He's just trying to keep things fun, Dave. He's trying to keep these girls together, trying to build some stability amongst all the change that they've had in that program, and trying to get things going in the positive direction. And we're starting to see it here. They've got a three-point game with DePaul on DePaul's own court.
And an interesting change. Xavier there was in a 2-3 zone. They went man in the first half, so changing things up on the defensive end. But Belk able to just get right inside for that pull-up.
Here is Jada Bird. Kendall Fincher really had a rough first half, number one. And
There, but Georgetown can't stand around and watch Petke. I have a sense DePaul is going to really pressure her and try to crowd her, but everyone's got to keep moving off of her action.
A block from Belk. 3 3-point attempts. They're 0 for 3 from 3.
And they usually like to put the ball up quickly, so they've had to work even in some deep clock to get those looks, Lisa.
Here's Belk with a second opportunity. That worked out. Coleman from the wing. Stonewall for 3 this time. And a couple of 3-point.
There's too much off-the-ball standing for Georgetown. Everyone's got to be active, off and on-ball screens to catch you in out of position. And they like to backdoor cut you as well. When the pressure gets too much on the perimeter.
Creator tried to finish there by Deanna White.
And I think what James Howard was talking about with Matt is a jump stop in the paint. Instead of going in and being off balance and giving yourself only the option of scoring.
Head coach James Howard, he talked to us about a couple of things and trying to establish more of his system. His horn is short.
Scores not only in the conference, but really in the country.
Had a streak of trip of horrors, and the win over DePaul on Friday. Good-looking team here in Milwaukee, too.
They seem to play their best against the best competition in the Big East, with wins over Marquette and DePaul already this season.
You look at the losses, they've been pretty close for the most part. Out for Blockton. Only team Georgetown with a couple of losses that were not close.
A lot of them went for Georgetown. They're trying not to play on the first day of the Big East tournament.
Petke off the side of the backboard. Belk.
Flip it up there for the basket and the foul.
Misses. Petke will run out of time. George
with how many players can play make from the perimeter for Marquette, but Erica Davenport is the one that gets it going down low.
It was the Hoyas outscoring Marquette 17-12 after trailing at the end of the first quarter. Valentine up and under, ran out of room. Saved by Davenport. Heidemann steps through. Sisha Heidemann leading the way for Marquette in the first half. Belk with the rebound.
Early with Yazmine Belk, the 6'3" senior from Queens, New York. Belk only averaging 5 points per game. She will have to pick up her scoring here today in the absence of Michaela Benson. Benson, the senior from Virginia, 14.5 points per game. She will not play tonight. At Bethune-Cookman and also at Howard. He is a Washington, D.C. native. Couple of threes. He had 8 points in the first quarter, 8 in the second. And another offensive board. Belk gets this one.
Amongst all the change that they've had in that program and trying to get things going in the positive direction, and we're starting to see it here. They've got a 3-point game with DePaul on DePaul's own court. You can imagine to make these athletes comfortable. It's going to be a great venue for the Big East tournament, but an excellent new home for
for Xavier, Brian Neal. Ashley Gomez, good outside shooter, looking to fire. Instead, it goes to Dunham, who misses the jumper. An individual, an athlete, an understanding of what their role is.
Absolutely, and
Xavier still. Burton goes to that high post. Belk almost has it stripped away, but gets it back. From the floor for Dada Burton. Owens with Kendall Fincher, who had a rough first half. Georgetown by 22. Gomez goes inside. Good passing by Xavier. Finally, it winds up way outside, but they miss another three. And they are now. Petke misses the shot.
Xavier still has to find a way to get the ball inside. Even without a post player, they have to get some drives. Not going to get much with 5 players out on the perimeter.
Better ball moving by Xavier, and Owens with the floater. Can't get it to fall.
played 32. They look tired to start this game in the first half.
They're shooting tired. 2 of 12 in this quarter for Georgetown. Belk with the takeaway.
That was a lot of Gadeka's doing when she came into the game. Shoots the ball in such a high percentage. If she gets it down low, you can guarantee she's going to make something happen with it.
Becky had the first 8 points for Georgetown. 8 in the first quarter. Perfect 4 for 4 shooting. In the second quarter, a little bit slower. 1 of 6 shooting.
Contact as Belk knocks her to the ground. It took a second for the whistle, but the call was made. And looking at that replay, I think it was the right call.
So 3 against Belk. First player in foul trouble for the Hoyas. And they get it right back from
the shooters. And he's pointed out when and teams have experienced it, DePaul can be 3 for 12 early in the game, and all of a sudden you look up and they're 10 of 22. Well, today they've gotten off to the lightning start.
Well, and the point is, though, the number of players who can drain three-pointers. I mean, we've seen games in which 5, 6, 7 players have hit three-pointers for DePaul, and it makes it so tough to shut that down. They'll find driving lanes. There's Tanita Allen. Got a lot of versatility among the players on this team and within the offense.
Finally, we will.
Yeah, prevented it from being kicked out of bounds.
Right there is Belk.
Good move. There you go, guys.
Now Owens with the basketball. She's their point guard, averaging close to 3 assists per game.
Georgetown, known for their defense, they only give up 60 points per game. Little slip up there, but there's Belk. That's why she's...
Coleman gets her 38th three-pointer of the year. All 5 DePaul starters have 32 or more threes.
And Georgetown near the bottom of the Big East in points per game. They will work it around. They will try to be patient and try to slow the pace of this game.
Yeah.
9 points for the Blue Demons and made a tough shot there with contact.
Graves with 9 points tonight. She scored 22 when these teams met in Washington, D.C. In that ball game, this is about where Georgetown was. Donna Burton.
Events and experience. She has over 1,000 points in her terrific career, both at Virginia and now Georgetown.
Yeah, she's a real veteran when you watch her on the floor.
Oh, that's good passing.
She always makes the right plays.
Good passing by Xavier. Finally, it winds up way outside, but they miss another three. And they are now 1 for 18 from beyond the arc.
And if you're Xavier, typically that's a pretty good look for them. That time they got a lot of ball movement, so that wasn't a bad look. Unfortunately, they didn't get it to drop.
White knocks down her.